The end is near. 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 The end is. Oh, who am I kidding? There's nobody here to. Hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome back to the final episode of Coolcraft Season 2, guys. That is right, this is the final episode. We have decided that we are going to end Season 2 and go on with Season 3, mainly because I was the only one playing. And JSD Cool's going off to college soon, so that's always a great fresh start. A lot of work and a new season of Coolcraft to come back to. But yes, we are indeed going to be starting a new season of Coolcraft about next week. So literally there will be no noticeable gap in videos, because it'll actually be like a normal upload schedule for me. Although it actually won't, because I'm going to tell you right here off the bat that I'm going to be uploading my episodes of Coolcraft on my own channel instead of the channel that me and JSD Cool have shared for the past 4 or 5 years. I don't remember when we actually created this channel. Whatever. So, my actual channel is going to be linked in the description below, so you can go subscribe to that to prepare for my first episode of Coolcraft. I will have a video up on this channel to remind you about that, but that is going to be next Sunday. But for now, let's finish off the current season and get on with it. And we'll start with in my house here, where I actually have 2 cats now that I got from my village over there. Yeah, I got 2 cats. I don't remember why. I think it's just because I saw them spawn. But yeah, let's start by talking about this. This is my original set of diamond armor and diamond tools from, obviously, before the nether update. So, you know, much better. I also believe my bow is down there at my feet. No, wait, I still have my bow on me. I don't know what is down there at the feet then. Hold up, let's see what this is. Oh, this is the statues book. Okay, makes sense. Even I forgot that. Eee. Then of course we have up here at the top, we have what I was going to label the city planning office but never did. This shows a map, the before and after map, that is, of my base, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, before would be complete ocean, but this is really close to the beginning of the season after I built this and the CBI building right over there, which I never did much with. As you can see, I went from this circle. I don't think the glass dome was here yet. We had the enchantment table there, a zero-tick sugarcane farm, and that is it. A few roads that I never did anything with. And look, today there's a lot more greenery now. We have, that's the enchantment table, trees in the center for some reason, and a whole lot of other stuff around the place. The first expansion to be made to this base was to create this villager dome here. Now, there are a lot of iron golems here, but that's because I believe there's a bug in 1.16 where iron golems are able to really rapidly spawn. Which, I don't know why there were any golems spawning here to begin with, but yeah. This place is pretty simple. It contains my pretty small, but slightly effective villager trading hall. It has a farm here to help the villagers replenish their numbers, and a whole bunch of beds here for the villagers to sleep, so that whenever I steal a villager or kill a villager, they can just go to sleep and wake up. But man, there's a lot of them. Oh, these people are making love at the moment. Yep, okay, I'm gonna get out of here then. The next expansion to my base, which was done at the very start of quarantine actually, so not that long ago, was my farming dome here, which just has a whole bunch of really big farms in it. That's mainly it. So we got the massive sugarcane farm, which is on either end, which was the first one I built in that episode, I believe. Then I built some pumpkin and melon farms behind these. And afterwards I built some crop farms, which these 2 crop farms I did not 1.16 proof, so they don't really work anymore, which is kind of why I turned them off, but also because they're kind of filled up in 1.15. And I'm not going to explain why these don't work anymore. You'll have to figure that out for yourself. A while after that, I built the museum. Now, this is a gigantic, amazing building that takes up an entire large footprint here. And it shows some basic things like origins of the species, like some of the history of this season from going back through the episodes. Replica of the dragon egg, because I actually went back and looked at one point, but I think it was Jaredy Cool who actually has the real dragon egg. But the main centerpiece of this, wrong torch, was this. Well, I mean, this might just look like a pearly white room with some beacons going through it, but I assure you, it is much, much more. Thank you. I'll feel the frames drop. The floor and both the ceiling, which, I mean, I could have added logic to not do the ceiling. Retract. That would have been a little bit complicated, though. Or would it have been? I don't know. It'd be more complicated than it currently is, I can tell you that. This is essentially all of my riches this season. Yes, this is a giant vault that hides away the diamonds. And I add some gold here to make it look a little bit more different. But yeah, this is actually a lot of blocks of diamond. I should actually go mine this out, see how many actual diamond blocks this is, and then place everything back. But instead, I'm just gonna make a Lightmatica schematic of this to find out later. But the most important part of this is that I can hide it away with specifically these key cards that I made. So that any thieving people that may come around won't immediately be able to get them. Obviously, they could just break blocks, but you know, what's the fun in building a vault that hides away your diamonds, if you're gonna think about all the negatives of it. Because this was very big and impractical. And of course, one of the latest expansions was this park dome for no other purpose than simply relaxing. And this was more just kind of a throwback to the original biodome from season 1 that I helped the Golden Creeper build. Also, I built these thrusters later on. Actually, that was really recently that I built these thrusters for kind of what is actually propelling this thing to stay up in the air and not just splash down into the water. Of course, who could forget my gigantic storage system? Along with the crazy things that I built inside of my base, which would be a super smelter, which, I mean, used to be hooked up to some zero-tick bamboo farms, but isn't anymore because of, that got removed. And this thing chewed through bamboo so quickly, we had to have 4 of these modules here. This was also originally home to just the big old tree farm and TNT blast chamber that I've designed here, though I found out that this is an absolute terrible farm, because I hooked up a cobblestone generator to it because I was really low on cobblestone for a while, and then it was like, yeah, it breaks the cobblestone generator because the cobblestone generator is too fast. Also, who could forget the big ol' infinity coaster, which has way too many map lines in order to actually look convincing. Whee! Of course, who could forget the giant beacon grid? Probably the most expensive thing I've ever done that never made like any of it back. Actually, I should go around to all these checking if I made any money out of any of these. That's a thing. Well, that is going here. that was a value. That's not where the money is kept. Duh. Look at that! I have made 3 total diamonds out of this. Nice. And I feel like that's going to be the only place where I actually made diamonds, but... Or did I throw these in? I don't know. I'm going to say that I did not throw these in, and that was thrown in by the Golden Creeper by his portal. Probably one of the best places I placed this. I think this one I had a hole here. Yep. This one also looks the cleanest inside. Nope, nothing there. Not that I was outside the shopping district or anything. There's one more that I gotta go check. Of course, what list of big projects that we've done around the server would be complete without mentioning the witch farm perimeter that we made here? This thing is gigantic. Took us forever. And has produced a ton of redstone and stuff that's useful for us. Also, let's not forget where it all began, here at my starter base. Ow, okay. Berries, which I never eat. Had my little smoker smelter here. There's still some fish here from AFK fishing? I would have sold those long ago had I known that those were there. But yeah, back from when you could still AFK fish here. Had my whole AFK fishing setup. This is where I placed my dragon egg, which I don't remember exactly how I got. Yeah, how did I get that? Anyhow, yeah, this was my, I originally had a system here to give me more fishing rods, because I didn't have a mending fishing rod yet. I have this whole area lit up here. There's my base, which is kind of close. Then we have this barrier of sweet berries here to prevent the pillagers and stuff from attacking me, which actually kind of worked well. And then we have the location where much of the start of my base came from. Right here. I did a lot of digging here in the first few episodes. But also up here, there is a skeleton spawner farm here that I may have used spectator mode to find, but me and Apperns, whatever he is, I don't know what he calls himself. He doesn't even know. Built this bone farm here, spawner and all, and it actually works, interestingly. And then we have the farm that has been supplying my movement throughout this entire episode, which is my mob farm, which is actually a design that I kind of created myself, with a little bit of inspiration from a design I saw Mumbo Jumbo using at the end of the Hermitcraft Season 6. Oh, there are actually mobs up there. Okay, don't go up there. Which uses flying machines to sweep them off and kill them, but I did design this myself. Yeah, and this has actually also been my source of ender pearls for the season, because this farm also can farm endermen because it doesn't use water to kill the mobs or move them. Also, this here is a path that I used to boat a villager from this village here all the way to the ocean. That was pretty fun. Of course, there's also a big farm that has sustained me, which is the mushroom farm here, which I actually made this in episode 8, but I wasn't actually able to use it until fairly recently, actually, because spawn chunks had way too many mobs in it. But then when I finally finished removing all the grass from the spawn chunks, this farm became actually useful and has filled me up with leather, and a lot of meat. Though realistically, this farm is not even useful anymore, because we have hogland farms now that we can make really easily, and they provide us with a lot of pork and leather as well. So yeah, pretty much the same thing, but much easier. So not going to be doing something like this next season. Well, this was an interesting thing to do, and I remember having a replay of just going through all the water and stuff. That was fun. There's also the Guardian Farm, which is designed by e31, who has still not made a tutorial on this design, by the way. Of course, if we want to talk about mob farms that produce a lot, how could we miss the insane Nether Fortress farm that designed by Nembomb MC, which I built here. This is how we got all the beacons. Also, you know what? Let's turn this thing off here, as I don't actually need to run this thing right now. But yeah, let's remove this all these glowing blocks right here. So, function. There we go. Now we don't have a hideous thing around here. And one of the most challenging parts of this farm was the amount of buttons I had to place around the place in order to spawn proof this. This season I didn't actually cheat the thing by just using a whole bunch of commands to do it. I did it myself, which is actually quite impressive. Okay, I think that's the end of that. But of course, here in the shopping district, we also have shops that I made. Now, I have most of the shops here. In fact, this is the only shop in the shopping district not owned by me or JRD Cool, and it was the first shop in the shopping district as well. This is the Red Zone. Redstone Shed, even. Yeah, it's been out of stock for so long because I bought out the stock a long time ago. So yeah, I kind of condemned that building. But in terms of my shops, we have CB Iron, which is the iron shop on the server. I was originally just gonna make all shops in this sort of small blocky style here, very simplistic. You just come in and buy whatever. I did that with the gold shop, but we didn't end up doing too much. I was gonna also make a wood shop, but didn't do that. We also have my sticky situation shop that sells some slime. Of course we have the beacon grid pass store kiosk thing, which has a cool thing, which if you're not on page 1 of the book, the door will close behind you. This was an excuse for me to build a 3x3 piston door. It really was. But of course it sold the season passes, which, you know, they were ridiculously expensive, but it was a ridiculously expensive product too. Who could forget the 5 diamonds per beacon shop here, which is the same price I sold them at last season, but you know, that's a good price. You get sales that way from all the poor people. Literally everybody but me, essentially. Of course, we have the rocket shop here, which obviously sells rockets. Didn't do that well this season. Then again, nobody played this season, so and I also did end up selling elytras because people needed them and they came on a little bit late, so I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna sell. And for the last shop that was made by me is the gold shop here, which obviously takes the output from the gold farm and I sell it. I think Jared Cool also stole a whole bunch of stock recently, but that doesn't really matter because the season's pretty much over now. Anyhow, yeah, that is the shopping district. But of course, right next door to the shopping district is Spawn. And if you remember, back to a little while ago when we were at the mushroom farm, I said it didn't work for most of the season. That's because I hadn't done this yet. Rip out literally all the dirt here. Well, it was originally going to be like that, but then I decided ripping it out would be easier than placing a whole lot of blocks. And I was right, it was a lot easier, especially when I got to blowing it up, like I did over this way. That was really nice. But of course, right here, next to Spawn, is someone's base. They didn't play much. They played a bunch at the start of the season, but didn't really go too much after that. I covered all the ground here in concrete powder to prevent animals spawning here. But yeah, this was interesting. They were going to have a storage system down this way, but they never really did much. This was going to be their super smelter. They actually have a sheep farm here, but that is outside the spawn chunks. And I dumped all the excess concrete powder that I had right here because I didn't have a use for it. Yeah, they have these interesting doors here to get inside here. I mean, I can just, if I am skilled enough. Okay, I don't have jump boost, that's why that's not working. Duh. But yeah, that's this. But there's also this roller coaster that Jared Equal and the Golden Creeper were working on at one point. It's pretty long, but not finished. Because, as you can see, I mean, it looks like a pretty nice layout here, but it does have at least one glaring issue. Mainly the fact that it just, you know, ends. Yeah, this was never finished. This is one of the failures. The National Park. You know what? Screw that. The National Rail and that at Jared Equal's base. This is all a failure. Everybody forget it. Of course, there's also a Jared Equals tree farm here, which has an Il Mango TNT blast chamber and an Il Mango tree farm here. Pretty simple stuff. This thing broke like 5 times, so we had to fix that. Yeah, there's not too much else on the server that I can show you guys. Now I come back to my base, look at the idea board with things that I never did because ran out of time and stuff. And I'm like, whatever, who cares? The season's about to end, I don't really care anymore. And to be honest, this was a pretty great season, better than season 1. Maybe. For me, yes, everybody else pretty much no. But yeah, just want to say, if you did want to be a part of Season 3, fill out the form in the description, and we might try to get some more people on, although if there's nobody who fills out the form, then that won't be happening, so fill out the form in the description. Also, remember, the next episode of Season 3, Episode 1, will be out on my personal channel, JST Plays, which is also going to be linked in the description below. But besides that, I'm going to have to say, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, which is linked in the description. Also, check out the Discord linked in the description. And I will see you all in the next season of Coolcraft. Bye.